Hey everyone, and welcome back to our podcast where we discuss ideas about success, inspiration, and motivation. I'm your host Fahad Siddiqui along with our co-host Ahad Ahmed. This week we are joined by Dr. Shoaib Haider Siddiqui, who is an endodontist working in the United States. Dr. Siddiqui is originally from Pakistan and has trained both in the US and the UK. Despite having completed his specialization from the UK and having an excellent job in the Middle East, Dr. Siddiqui continued his pursuit for further education. We talk about his ideas of success and, most importantly, the challenges he faced along the way. If you like this episode, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel as we continue our exploration of success. Enjoy the show. Welcome to our podcast, Dr. Shoaib Siddiqui. Thank you for joining us. Today, what we're going to talk about is the journey of success, motivation, inspiration, the challenges we face while trying to get our goals. I know that you have a very interesting story. You have lived in different countries. You have been educated in different countries as well. And you are still, persistent and keeping up with your goals and ambitions. So we just wanted to have a discussion about, some of those elements that you have. If you can just briefly tell us how you have been busy since like the past 2 to 3 years to begin with, and then we'll talk about other things.
Okay, first of all, Fahad and Ahad, I'm really grateful to you guys to have me over and giving me the respect. Finding me worthwhile to come on your this podcast here. Um, I think for the past 2 3 years, I've been just busy with my education and endodontics. I came to the US in July 2017. That's when I started the program. Uske baad, it just went up to 2019 July. So that's when I finished, and I got a job in Washington, Seattle here. So I moved here end of July, started working in September. So I'm fairly new in working in the US right now. So this is my past 3 years, 2 to 3 years right now. But I have a longer history, like you just mentioned, moving around, and we can take that as we go along. But at present, I'm just working as an endodontist here.
Sure.
Okay.
So, Dr. Shoaib, just walk us through a little bit in brief that, what countries have you worked in and what kind of education have you obtained?
Okay, so are you ready for this? Because this is going to take me a while.
Just
Sure, go
briefly.
for it.
All right. So, very briefly, all my basic schooling has been done from Dubai, UAE. I did my O levels and I did my intermediate from Federal Board in the Dubai itself. Then I came to Pakistan, did my dentistry from Bakai Dental College, graduated in 2000, and then I worked for 2 years as a demonstrator, and then I went to England to do my master's in restorative dentistry from Leeds University. So that was a 2 years program. I got that done, came back in Pakistan, started teaching endodontics for 3 years. And then I went to Saudi Arabia for 7 years, taught there endodontics over there in the university. And then I moved to the US to do my training in endodontics then.
Good.
Perfect. Nice.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of a journey.
Yeah.
So, the one thing that we wanted to ask you was about success. So, for example, success for anyone could be different. For me,
Yeah.
it was something else when I started, but now I see it differently. So what was success for you when you started, and what does it mean to you now?
Well, for me, I had success for me was very different. Success for me was like, if I have something in mind, I need to get it. But now when I've gotten through all that phases and reached to my goal, I realize that success is actually a series of events. It's just not one event that you get done with and that's success. It's a series of events, and we need to understand this. I think a lot of people, where I talk to people, I try to counsel them, I try to tell them this thing, that you have a big target, and then you have to understand that there are steps that you need to take towards that target. You cannot get to that target immediately. That's when people start giving up, in my experience. So really, success, although you're, like you said, it's very objective and subjective. You can say, like, no, it depends on what you see as success. But to get to your goal, you have to understand this, that there are certain steps you need to take, and you cannot just jump there. Otherwise, it's a failure. Failure happens when you are trying to get there quickly. I took 7 years to get to this point, so it takes a while.
So do you feel like that you have reached to the point where you wanted to be? For example, like 12 years ago, did you think about this point and have you achieved that part?
Yeah, I think like I said, it took me 7 years to get here. So 7 years ago, I decided that I want to do something in life. So I was in Pakistan, and in
Mm-hmm.
2010 I left from there, and then I came to Saudi Arabia to teach, and that's why I started realizing, that I need to do more in life. And I already had a degree in restorative dentistry, so for anybody else, that's enough. Wow, that Leeds University in England said this guy has a master's, he's doing pretty
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
But I had different goals. I wanted to do endodontics now because I was teaching that. I realized that I want to do more now.
Mm-hmm.
So I set myself this goal that I want to do it. And then I started preparing myself. The thing is, I started preparing myself for that. I just did not start applying to programs. I had to make my profile, and
Mm-hmm.
that takes a long time. And every time you achieve a goal that fits into your profile is achievement, is success.
Right.
And then this success adds up and takes you to that final goal of yours, where you go like, this is what I wanted. If you ask me that, is this what I wanted? Yes, this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to do endodontics from the US,
Mm-hmm.
nowhere else. And
Mm-hmm.
we can talk about that afterwards if you want me to get more details. But yes, I had this dream. If I want to do endodontics, number one, I have to do endodontics. Number two, if I want to do it, it's going to be USA, nowhere else. And of course, when you come to the US, you think like, why shouldn't I, live here, stay here? It's a good system, and all stuff. You guys know this stuff. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's how you build yourself up slowly. Yeah.
I think you said a great thing that it's a series of events, and
Yeah.
success, in my opinion, keeps evolving. Your idea of success,
Yeah.
a few years ago, you may have seen success as something different, and now that you're at that level, now it's changing for you as well.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
but one important thing that I could pick up from your talk right now is that you were focused. You kind of knew that this is exactly what you want to do, and you
Yeah.
kept on persisting.
Hmm.
But did you have any challenges, and did you have any insecurities or fears when you were, preparing for this life or for this event?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. That's a very important question. Everybody goes through that. The biggest hindrance that you will get when you want to move up in life, and I'm going to address to everybody right now. It's just not about me. Is that people are going to stop you from doing it? Uh, I remember when I was going to do my master's in the UK. I had one gentleman. I won't take his name right now, but he was in a good position in teaching in dentistry. He came to me all the way from that university college, sat down with me where I was teaching, and he marked everything down to me that you're going to spend so much money in learning in the UK. And he was a UK grad himself, a fellowship
Mm-hmm.
from there. And he really stopped me. He said, give that money to me and we can make a business and everything. Then there were people who were saying, by the time you come back, in these 2 years, use that money to open your own practice. And people will stop you, and you lose a lot of friends. You lose a lot of friends. You realize who your true friends are. That's a very big heartbreak in life when you
Hmm.
go like, okay, when you're trying to move forward and other friends will try to pull you back, or they do not want to be your friends anymore because, and I learned, I used to get heartbroken. I used to get heartbroken. Like, I lost a very good friend of mine. But then
Mm-hmm.
you realize that, as you're moving up, you're finding more friends. And it's okay that those friends are not there with me anymore. But I have made new friends. I'm friends with a lot of big names in the US that people know all around the world. I talk to them, I share my cases with them. We discuss, we meet outside. So things go on. And I think financially also there's a lot of thinking you have to do about. Okay,
Hmm.
how am I going to earn this save so much money to do this? Will I get the admission?
Yeah.
Not the admission. Then one big factor is your family. You have to look. I have a family. I have kids. I've got three
Right.
girls. Okay, so they're growing up. They're growing up very quickly. So I had to see, it's just going to be worth my struggle. Uh, Seriously speaking, I was locked in a room for so many years, just studying, looking for schools, criterias. And then my wife and my kids have struggled a lot with me. They did not do so many things that people could have done living in Saudi Arabia. And, with that money that I had, we did not do anything. So we struggle a lot. So I think a lot of family sacrifice has to be there. Um, Fears hoti hain, failure ki fears kisko nahi hoti hain, failure is always there.
Yeah.
But failure for me now has become a point of learning. You get depressed, it hurts, it hits you hard, but it's a good time to learn. It's a good time to
Right.
sit back and reflect uh, what you could have done better. And like I said, it's a series of events. It's just not successes. It's failures that will teach you how to get better. Like if you ask me, but the first time I get the interview for Endo, they did not take me. Next year when I applied again to the same program, they took me. Uh, and I realized from my failure, where did I go wrong? I did not repeat that thing in my next interview, and I got in. So it's as simple as that. So there's a lot of failures. Friends, people will stop you. They'll mock you. I came here when I was 41 almost. People laughed at me. You're going to the US at such a late age. People go there when they're young.
Hmm.
So you hear a lot of mocking going around you. People laugh at you. You have to ignore all these things. You have to fight your fears, basically.
Good.
So basically, you had a positive attitude throughout. I mean, that was like one of the questions that we wanted to shed light, that
Yeah,
that how do people keep a positive attitude? Because of course, keeping a positive attitude is easy when things are going your way, but
yeah,
it's not easy when it's tough and you're seeing failures in your in these steps.
yeah.
So
I
um,
think I think I think one thing that Fahad just mentioned here is a very something that people miss. Okay, now there's an ingredient box. Okay, there's a few things you need to have a successful career or something, whatever success you want. Okay, one of them is that you need to have a dream. Okay, yeah, I see this guy, I want to be like him, for example, or I have this dream that I want to do this.
mhm,
That you have it there, dream. Number two is that you need to have the determination to do it. A lot of people, Fahad, I think even Fahad, you guys play maybe musical instruments also. You know that how much time you need to spend down to play these guitars and the tunes and
mhm,
the clarity and the smoothness. So it takes a while, so you need to be determined for that. Okay, so determination bhi honi chahiye uske baad. Third thing is that you need to start working out how I'm going to work this out. Okay, I have the determination to do it. How am I going to do it? And the last thing that people miss is focus. People don't focus. If you lose the focus, you're not getting there. So I can look at people and go like, I want to be like Ahad, I want to be like Fahad. But if I'm not focused and I'm getting distracted by people giving me, fruits and money and jobs and career things, I'll lose focus and I'll move back and I'll go like, what? I don't think I want to do this anymore. Focus is something that kept me going on. Focus is the only
Right.
thing that I did. That's it.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I also feel, in addition to what you said, and you said it very beautifully, is that, when you try to find excuses in your failure, that's when
Yeah.
you start failing more.
mhm,
More.
Because,
Yeah.
people may be like, Dr. Siddiqui is successful because he had these things in his life, which I don't. But
Mm.
instead of focusing on what you don't, I think you should focus on what you can and what you can learn, and which also leads to another aspect, which is humility. Like I should accept that I failed, that maybe I had some shortcomings.
Mm.
Now, how do I overcome those? And that's what you said.
Yeah.
Like, you tried again, you saw that what were your shortcomings, and you improved. If you were like, no, I was great, they just don't deserve me, or they,
Exactly.
whatever, if you had that attitude, you would never be where you want. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
there are these factors to consider as well.
Hmm.
One more thing, I think you said it, and I mean, as we grow up, our friends change, or our social circle change. Uh, I don't know when you said that, it was something surprising for you, or you were heartbroken and all that. What did you learn through that? Like, were you thinking that these friends are not compatible with me because I am at another level? Or was it like a gap between communication, or could you have done anything better to keep those relationships going?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I've asked myself so many times, when I started losing friends, I was like, am I going wrong somewhere? Did I do something wrong? Um, I think, I think it's very difficult to answer, because in the sense you're trying to do something for yourself, you're trying to do something for your family, good friends will understand you and they'll buck you up, you know.
mhm,
So at that moment, for you, that friend is a good friend, okay? But are you good enough for him also? When you're moving forward and if it's not able to take or follow pace with you. Now I'm the kind of person who likes to take people with him. Okay, I
Yeah.
don't like to do. I'm a very team player kind of a guy. I don't like to boss around. I don't like to lead also, but I'd like to, when I'm moving forward, I give advices to my friends, everything as much as I can. But like I said, when people are not focused, and they see you moving up, who doesn't want to move up in life? Everybody does, right? But when people start questioning themselves and they see their very good friend moving up, that's when they'll start moving back. I think I don't want to say this, but maybe jealousy is a component there. Maybe they think that I'm not worth his friend, being in his friends list anymore. I still keep in touch with people as much as I can. I try my level best. I do not see what gone hai, what is he doing right now. What status is there right now. I motivate people.
Yeah.
Ahad knows me very well. I'm running a page right now, trying to teach endodontics to the entire
Yeah.
Pakistani community in the entire world. And I'm doing this out of the love for the field and my people. So I just don't want to keep it to myself. But people, if they misunderstand you, then I don't think it's your fault. It's people who will be your good friends will learn from you, will move with you, or they will push you, and then you can always motivate. Give them a hand and just pull them back up with you. But people who don't want to give you give me your hand. Okay, Dr. Shoaib, give me your hand. I'll pull you up and bring you with me.
Hmm.
If I won't give you my hand, it's no use. So it's tricky. It's tricky to answer that question because you can go any direction. Jealousy, not motivated, a lot of stuff. But I don't
Yeah.
want to point at anything. Happens. This is life. Uh, can't help it, unfortunately.
But usually in their dictionary, it's not possible that a person like us or someone can reach this point. So that's why
Yeah,
I think it just makes them uncomfortable. It has happened in my life as well.
yeah,
But the best thing is just to ignore and just move forward and stay
yeah.
focused. I mean,
Like I said, focus is very important.
yeah,
People will throw carrots and apples in front of you, but sometimes you have to compromise with just a glass of water and just move on. Just
yeah.
I just can't take this right now.
Yeah, I know. And how many times it
Um,
did happen with me and Fahad as well, because when we switched our program towards the clinical side, no one
mhm.
was helping us out actually. So,
Yeah,
and that's the point when you have to step up and find the ways, literally, like, I mean, you have to lock yourself in a room and read about it, that what you have to do and how you have to do it. So that's something
exactly.
that comes
One
with time.
thing,
Yeah.
one thing that what I am thinking about this is that, I have learned to be happy for other people's success. That
Yeah,
helps me as well. That
Hmm.
helps
yeah,
me,
yeah,
have a positive energy in myself, because
yeah,
at the end of the day, what matters is if you're happy or not, right? So
yeah,
if I am envying someone's success, that's affecting me as well.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I would rather celebrate your success and be like, hey man, I'm so happy for you. I wish
Yeah,
I could be like you, or I wish, I could have
Hmm.
followed something. Can you guide me?
yeah,
And
exactly.
fortunately, I do have some people I know like that as well. So, there are all sorts of people. And I guess it's kind of like the natural selection. So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
someone is not compatible with your lifestyle or with your thoughts, then I think there's no room for them in your life anyway. So it's
Yeah.
like extra
Because
baggage.
Fahad, yeah, because Fahad, the thing is, these people will stop you from growing if
Hmm.
you start caring for your relationships too much. They will not let you grow. Tomorrow, they're not going to send money and grocery to your home.
Hmm.
It's you, the one who's supposed to provide to your for the family.
Hmm.
It's your decision. Tomorrow when you fail and you fall down, they're only going to laugh. They're only going to laugh. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
don't let that affect you. That's all I want to tell people who are listening right now. Don't let these things affect you. You have to stay focused. You have to move on, and you have to start meeting with people who share the same idea. A man is known by his company. I did not understand this till I started making that company of my own. When I started realizing that, that yes, if I want to be an endodontist, I need to start talking to endodontists.
Yeah.
I need to ask them, and once I started sitting around these people, I got so high on motivation. I cannot tell you. I was like, nobody can stop me. I mean, uh, seriously, it's a different game. You need to start making friends who will lift you up. And
Yeah.
whatever I am today, I'm because of them. They lifted me up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing I just quickly want to add is that when you were saying about the, like your struggles and
Hmm.
the challenges you're facing. Was there any time that you self-doubted your decision about pursuing your dream? Because there are a lot of people who dream, but they don't dare to follow the steps because they think that the journey is going to be tough. Maybe I'll fail. Did you have those thoughts as well, and how did you deal with it?
Well, that's a very good question. I did not doubt myself at all. The only thing that my fear was that, how will I compete with these people? There's so many people that live here in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Their accents are better than me. They look better than me. They dress better than me. They have more profiles. You have all these things in your mind when you're sitting in Saudi Arabia, or as a Pakistani, you're sitting outside. You have these things in your mind. But I was like, I'm unstoppable. I'm going to go and do this. And one thing I'd like to share is that when I got the admission, I thanked all the interviewers who were the faculty there. I emailed them, and one of the faculty members, she emailed me back. She said, "Siddiqui, when you walked into my room for the interview, I immediately told myself, I want this guy. This guy is my first pick." So for me, that was such a huge step in my life to listen to somebody from the US telling me this thing from a very renowned university with one of the top programs in the world. I go like, wow, this. She said that I was her top pick, and
Right.
and they, the funny thing is, before I was leaving the program, they wanted me to join them as faculty. They love me so much, and they have told me that our doors are always open for you. Whenever you want to come back to teach, we are here for you. So so these things may stop you, but again, if you're focused, don't think about it too much. Just believe in yourself, trust yourself, work on yourself. That's very important. You have to make your profile in such a way that people get attracted to you. You cannot just get up and say, okay, oh yeah, let's have a cup of tea. I'm going to apply to this program. It doesn't work like that. You have to prepare yourself. You have to build yourself. I did not doubt myself at all. My wife was at a point where she gave up on me. My mom used to tell me, "Beta, kab tak padhoge? Bas kar do, bahut ho gaya." And I said, no. You guys are either with me or without me, but I'm going ahead and doing this stuff. Family support was there, man. That's very important.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true. And another question that, again, hearing your story is just it's just motivating me so much. So my question to you is that, like, what is your message to the younger students
Yeah.
who want to apply to endo or like any other field?
Yeah.
I mean, like, what is the message? Like, if you have something for them.
I think
Regardless
I
of
think
dentistry, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think you need to get focused. I think that's today's word of the day should be focus. I mean, you have to focus. We all want to do something in life. We all look at others and go like, I wish I was in his place, and that's normal. That's how it starts. Okay, but you have to be focused. Okay, it's only when you're focused you'll start moving forward. It's like a horse who wears that stuff. In Urdu mein naal bolte hain, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
क्या बोलते हैं
Yeah,
तो.
yeah, yeah.
You have to do that. Do not get distracted कि सामने से गाड़ी आ रही है, जहाज उड़ के आ रहा है. People are throwing stones at you. Just keep moving forward. All that will pay off. All the places that you have been cut from and bruised from and bleeding from, it all heals, and it's a wonderful gift in the end. So just focus. Don't believe in yourself. That's very important, and prepare yourself because you have to do that. It's getting tougher. Life is getting tougher. Admissions are getting tougher. It's very competitive. You guys know this yourself. You have to prepare yourself. Give some time to prepare yourself.
Dr. Siddiqui, I know that being focused is your main message, but to be focused, you need to be motivated. What was your
Yeah.
motivations? Like, what keeps you motivated? What is that, the desire to prove yourself, or is that the desire to reach a level? And because motivation is really important, like what drives you, what motivates you.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through a little bit about your motivations?
Yeah. Motivation for me was doing good work. Every time I hit a target, like if I did something good, like let's talk about endo right now because I did endodontics all this while. So every time I did a better case, that motivated me more. I would read an article, come back to the university and do a patient, and that article I could see how much that would help me just by reading overnight and change my perspective or my skill level, take me to a new high, and do something good. Uh, and I think my biggest my fuel is work itself. It's that thing itself. Um, I think that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, you do good work, and that's what. If you ask me personally, that's my motivation. Doing good work. That's
Ahad,
all I do.
Ahad, that reminds me of the book you were telling me about, the compound effect, that
Yeah,
it just keeps compounding, like one thing that you do
one
and then
small
you add
deed,
on.
and if you keep do
Yeah.
and if you keep doing it for a longer time, it just, I mean, the result is exponential. So that's
There
what
you
we
go.
see.
I never knew that I was doing compound stuff forever. That.
But Dr. Shoaib, I also wanted to ask you one thing. So, for example, who was your motivation? Like, did you see any? I think we're just talking about endodontics right now because you are
Yeah.
an
Okay.
endodontist. And so,
Yeah.
for example, when you were applying or when you were teaching in Bakai or in Saudi, did you have a figure in your mind who did the same route and you followed that person, or it was something that you planned yourself?
No, I don't think I followed anybody. For me, like we have Buchanan, we have Cliff
Mm-hmm.
Ruddle. These are big
Mm-hmm.
names. They're worshipped as God outside the US.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only international figures that people know. There are many more good endodontists here in the US, but people know them both because they're very commercial people. So, looking at them, looking at their work, following them online, I used to be very motivated. That yeah, I want to do endodontist like this. And then I started following this, and he's my mentor online. Basically, he's Terry Pankak. I started attending his webinars, and I went like, these guys are different people. For me, diagnosis was just, pulp test, yeah, that's it, but when I took their webinars on diagnosis or, on treatment of curved canals, whatever, any topic, I could like, these guys are different, their level is completely way beyond what anybody could think outside the US.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know anybody who has gone my route, because I've worked very hard. The friends that I know in the US for endodontists who are also Pakistanis,
Mm-hmm.
they've not gone through the struggles that I have been through. Definitely, they had their own struggles.
Mm-hmm.
My struggle was different. I had to move from another country to another country to
Right.
another country
Mm-hmm.
to get to this level.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had small kids, with wife, and take them along with not enough money in pocket. So big dreams, less support. US is different. Over here, everybody motivates you. You don't need anybody's motivation in the first place. System is so open for you that if you are deserving, they'll come pick you up themselves. But so yeah, I mean, I think I just saw a few figures like, for me, Buchanan and Cliff Riddle was, I just want to be like them. Then I met Terry Pankak. I said, you know what, I want to be like him now. The way he takes things, and yeah, and I just believed in myself, and I just carved my own path. I'm proud of myself. I want to pat myself because nobody does that, but it's important. You need to tell yourself,
Yeah.
that you're doing a
Yeah.
good job. Keep moving, keep moving. Um, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, my
No.
motivation, people, few friends, good friends.
Yeah.
Terry Pankak is a very good friend of mine now.
Really?
Buchanan is also a friend of mine in a way that I talk to him. I meet him somewhere, we meet, we take pictures together, so
Yeah.
you meet these people, become your friends now, so now
Mm.
you go like, wow, I'm in this world of gods now, so you feel like a mini god yourself now, so it feels good. It's good.
Yeah, and the best part is that these guys are also approachable. Like, I mean, Dr. Buchanan, when I took his course as well, he was so
Yeah.
friendly. Like,
Oh man,
and he
amazing.
and he actually makes you feel special, that
Yeah.
you're doing great and all that. Like, I mean, I have no clue what endo is, but like
Yeah.
he's a great teacher.
Yeah.
So that was a great experience.
Yeah.
I think obviously remember Ahad when we met that guy who wrote the oral biology book in Montreal,
Dr.
and
Nancy,
yeah,
Antonio Nancy. Yeah.
yeah, and that was my first like moment when I was reading his book in Pakistan. I didn't even know that like I could
Yeah.
ever like
That
see
this
him in
guy's from
person.
Montreal. Yeah.
Then I attended a lecture from Malamed. So I was like, wow,
Yeah.
man, like these. So obviously,
Yeah.
what Dr. Siddiqui was saying, that it just like keeps encouraging you that, you have achieved something now that was possible. So it reinforces that behavior to keep going. Dr.
Exactly.
Siddiqui, I want to know one more thing. So these are
Hmm.
okay. These are your professional inspirations. Who was your childhood inspiration? Like, who was your childhood inspiration?
Oh man, that's a long list, man. Uh,
Like,
I know one of
you know,
them.
like someone who you looked up to and why, because I think that is the key when you're growing up. As when you grow up, you need to have that drive that you want to achieve something big in life. I think that comes from early age. So any it could
yeah,
be
you know,
Wasim Akram, it could be whoever.
yeah,
If you
that's a
don't,
very
it's
tough
fine.
question. Yeah, no, no, no. The thing is, I don't think I had anybody. I was a very shy guy. I'm surprised at myself that today whatever I'm doing, it's not the old Shoaib. I'm a completely transformed person now. Um, I was not like this. Even when I was in dentistry, when I was doing my BDS from Bakai, I was not like this. You can ask my friends. I was a completely, off academic kind of a person. Uh, I think it just happened. It just happened overnight. I mean, I just changed. I don't know how I did it, but because I could do it, I tell others that you can do it too. I was, if you ask about my history, my mom tells me today that I was the person who used to get a lot of red marks on my report cards, like because I failed the subject. And
Mhm.
she tells me now that look at you, you're just unstoppable now, and
Hmm.
and she tells me, she cries on the phone. She tells me, "Beta, bus kar do. बहुत हो गया और कितना पढ़ोगे?" And I tell her, "Ma, I have one more goal to achieve. I just have
Mhm.
to give another exam." So if you ask me about childhood, if I wanted to be like somebody or I just get motivated by looking at someone, it was Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I know
That's
the
someone.
answer.
You knew it.
Yeah, I knew it.
I mean, to date, when I see patients and I make my assistants, they bring a speaker for me because they know I like to listen to my own music.
Mhm.
So they know that I like Michael Jackson, so they'll always play it for me. So
Nice.
yeah, that was.
Good.
I wish he was alive, so I would have done anything to go and meet him.
Maybe
Um,
do his root canal.
well, he's dead now, so maybe
If
I
he
can
was
pull him
alive.
off the corpse. Yeah,
So let's just wrap this up. We had a great discussion with Dr. Shoaib. Thank you so much, Dr. Shoaib, for coming to this
my
little
pleasure,
show that
brother.
we have.
Thank
My
And
you.
pleasure. Yeah.
again, we just started this two brown dentist thing out of faraghat, because we had some time and we wanted to help people, to be honest, because like if this small interview can help or inspire someone to be
Hmm.
an endodontist or a cardiologist or whatever, so why not? So
Hmm.
I mean, that's what
Yeah.
our main idea is. And if you have to say a few more things on motivation or success, please feel free.
Okay. I think I've covered a lot of stuff. I basically I'm giving you what I took myself as for me motivation and success were different. For me, let me give you a small example. Before I became an endodontist, people used to call me an endodontist. Okay,
Hmm.
because I worked hard on my clinical skills.
Yeah.
People used to see my cases. They go like, "Man, you're an endodontist." I did not let that distract me. I said, "No, I'm not an endodontist. I will call myself an endodontist the day I believe that I am one." Okay, so like I said, people will throw sweet stuff at you, just to, and that'll distract you from stopping. For me, it was enough. Oh, I'm in Saudi Arabia. I'm getting a good salary. People call me an endodontist. I think that's the dream come true for most of the people.
Hmm.
But if you want to go one level up, you have to not believe in that. You have to believe in your goal. Okay, my goal was to become a true endodontist, so I did not let that fake endodontist fool me. So you have to do that. You have to do your homework. You have to work hard. Like I said, one thing that people don't work on is themselves. They go like, okay, I want to be a guitarist. I just want to be a guitarist.
Hmm.
I want to be an endodontist. I just want to be an endodontist. But you have to build your profile like that. A rock guitarist will have to grow his hair long. He'll have to look shabby for a few days. You know, that's he has to make his profile. Otherwise, people go like, "Oh, look at this cute-looking guy with his haircut and playing the rock guitar." You have to make yourself like that. So you have to work on yourself. Do homework. Find good friends who will motivate you. Uh, Change your circle. Negative people will stop you. Even if they don't stop you, they will stop you because that influence will be on you, whether you like it or you don't like it, whether you admit it, you don't admit it, whether you feel it, you don't feel it, that influence is going to be there. You have to change your circle. You have to move on. Be a good guy. You have gone through the struggles. Help others.
Hmm.
In helping others, you will find yourself moving on also. uh, my one advice to everybody is going to be: it's easy to get jealous, it's easy to envy others. Try not to do that. It's very easy. I'm a human, I get jealous. When people come to me, they ask for me, they ask me for my advices. I go like, why should I tell him? you know uh, what if he comes up, what if Pakistani soch, what if he comes to my level? You have to fight these things. This is normal. Everybody, this is human. It's like if I get hit on this table right now, I'll get hurt just like you, just like anybody else. It's normal. You have to fight these things, and these things is only this time when these little things will start breaking from your characteristics and your personality, and they will shed off, and then you will see a new you coming out, and then where you will be like fearless and fighter and strong, and you'll be a different person. You have to fight it from today onwards. Have to work on yourself. Very important.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Dr. Shoaib, for those wonderful words of wisdom and everything you shared. Thank you for coming and sharing your stories. I mean, we got a lot of value from it. I hope our listeners got a lot of value for it. And for our listeners, if you are enjoying, our series, please consider subscribing our YouTube channel for more podcasts like these where you can get some value and share your experiences and what you want to learn more. So for now, that's going to be it.
Thank you.
See you guys next time. Thank you.